If I had to think of my favorite Assassin's Creed games, it would definitely be the old school games, Black Flag, Assassin's Creed 3, definitely the Ezio trilogy. Um, I love that era of Assassin's Creed. Assassin's Creed 1 was actually the first game I played on my Xbox 360. My grandfather and grandmother came home from Best Buy. They was always interested and intrigued with technology, and they came home with an Xbox and none other than Assassin's Creed. So that was my introduction to the series back then. And I've always played about every release. It's probably a few I didn't roll credits on, but for the most part, I always check them out. They usually go on sale not too long after release. So when I seen Black Flag Remake was coming via some leaks before it got officially announced about a year or two ago, I was pretty excited for it because, as I mentioned earlier, it's definitely one of my favorite games in the series. It's arguably the last, in my opinion, really goated one, right there with 3 as well. So when I heard the remake was coming, I was definitely intrigued because even though I'm not a huge fan of Valhalla, Odyssey, Shadows, I do appreciate them games, and I do like them games in their own right, but I just think when it comes down to what I want an Assassin's Creed game to be, I kind of think they missed the mark by, focusing on other things and trying to get too big and bigger and more, and somehow that becomes less to me for what I like in the franchise. But I enjoy Shadows and all of those games, but what I really enjoyed about those games was the technology. I always thought those games was beautiful. The Anvil engine, if I'm not mistaken, if that's what they're using, those games are gorgeous. Like Assassin's Creed Shadows is one of the best looking games I played last year, and I thought it was beautiful. So to bring any of my favorite AC games up to date like that, I would be all for it. I really want 3 to get this treatment as well. So with that being said, man, let's jump into Black Flag Resynced. And first thing I got to talk about is the graphics, man. So the gameplay pretty much stays the same. It's pretty much what you played back then when it released on the Xbox One and PS4. Great gameplay. And, it's funny because as old as the gameplay is, I still prefer this. It's a lot of things and activities I really enjoyed in this game. Like, the diving with the dive bell and going to those shipwrecks. I always thought that was really dope, man. And honestly, this is probably the best pirate game we got this gen, which is funny because it's just a remake of a game from a gen or two ago. But the graphics in this game, man, is beautiful. Somehow they made this game look better than AC Shadows. I guess they took whatever they learned from Shadows, and this is on all consoles. I played on the PS5 Pro, but this is everywhere. I can confirm this game looks amazing, whether it's on the Pro, PS5, or the Series X or S. And hopefully they can scale it down to the Switch. This is a beautiful game, man. I think the thing that stood out to me the most was the lighting. That global illumination, man, was just jaw-dropping at times. The improved ray tracing as well, the reflections, everything was absolutely beautiful. The water physics is gorgeous in this game, man. So, I love my water in video games, man. Shout out to Pokemon Wind Waves coming soon too. So I love the amount of details in this game, and the cities and environments feel a lot more crowded, a lot more denser as well. It's just a beautiful game, man. A lot of beautiful environments, and it was nice revisiting a lot of the places I hung out, being a menacing pirate in, and just going back and seeing everything with a fresh coat of paint was really refreshing. But at the end of the day, it's still just a remake at the end of the day, so pretty much nothing other than that has changed too much, too crazy. I'm happy they kind of stuck with the combat from the original and didn't chase this overly reliance on this RPG style combat that they started. I'm not really too big of a fan of that with Shadows or Valhalla or even Odyssey. Just swinging, hitting the same combo over and over and over, and trying to use these abilities was just not fun in modern AC games, in my opinion. It wears off after a while. The initial fun factor might be there for the first 15-20 hours, depending on how much of it you can take, but after that it becomes it's just repeating the same thing. So having takedowns in the combat was really nice, man. Just the parries and everything like that it still became repetitive after a while, but to me it was just more fitting for what the game wants to be. So That was dope, man. So I think on the gameplay and the graphics, they nailed it. The gameplay is just, you know, the same from before, but more refined, more crisp, feels great. The graphics is beautiful. I really did enjoy the music in this game too, man. You know, it took me back hearing them shanties on the ship as you travel around, and even if it's quiet, you know, during the storms, it's just beautiful, man. I was playing with my Still series on most of the time, and when storms and stuff came up, man, the water crashing against the ship and everything like that, man, just felt really good. Or even if it was just a clear horizon, you know, cruising and hearing Edward shout out Full Sail, and then a chanty hitting was dope, man. So that was really fun. And you know, the story, you probably played this before. If you haven't, y'all know I don't do spoilers, but man, it's probably one of the better. It's more interesting than what the hell is going on in Odyssey and Valhalla and Shadows. I'm gonna be honest. So I'm not here to just glaze AC. I'm here to go down memory lane and point out that this was pretty much the end of the golden era for the AC games, man. Modern AC games, in my humble opinion, they just don't, they can't compare. You know, by comparison, man, they're very lacking, man. But this story, it's nice when you have a clear-cut goal, a clear-cut narrative. You know, you want to go get rich. You want to be a pirate. You want to bring home riches. You want to make your lady back at home proud. You want to prove her wrong and say, hey, I'm gonna give you this good life. And you get, you know, lost in the sauce along the way. I miss that about Assassin's Creed games, man. You know, I miss Ezio, Connor. I miss everybody having a simple goal that you can follow along with within 15, 20, 30 hours versus these 40, 50, 60-hour games and all these arcs that you won't remember. It's crazy. So I really enjoyed this game overall, man. I think if you have Xbox or PC, I think you should definitely check out Ubisoft Plus. You can play cheaper, so you won't have to spend the whole price. I got the disc, but don't worry, because I trade my disc in physically. Shout out to GameStop, man. I'm trade this in probably for Wolverine or something next month when that come out. So that's what I do with my physical games, and that's what Sony wants to take from us. You know, keep holding the line, boys. Been a great video, great review. Bring your boy NextGenNero, and I'll catch you guys in the next video. Peace.